Hello everybody, it's also here. Welcome back to another tier list video. This time, we're not ranking video games, we are ranking TV shows. So yeah, I'm gonna do this the same way I did with the video games. It's gonna be something simple, something relaxing, something you can just enjoy without paying too much attention. So it's gonna be another long video, I apologize for that, and yeah, I guess we'll just get right into it. These are the shows that we're ranking today. Of course, these are the ones that I've seen. I haven't seen some of the other ones, so I can't rank them, naturally. So yeah. Anyway, let's begin. First we have these 4 shows that I've already reviewed on this channel. So I'm gonna go through them pretty quickly, because I already have detailed thoughts about these shows on my channel. If you're interested, they are on the channel, you can go find them. But yeah, let's start with Echo. I figured that with each show I kind of give a little story summary, I guess. No spoilers incoming, don't worry, but like a premise in case you don't know what these shows are. So yeah, let's do that. So Echo is of course a Marvel show. It's one of the newer ones, and it's about Echo. Yeah, Echo, this character that's like deaf, and she has like ties to Native American like people. And yeah, that's I don't know how to describe it. I didn't really like Echo. If you've seen my review, you know I wasn't a big fan of this. Also, I just realized, why is bad here and horrible here? I don't know why. They need to be this way. Anyway, back to it. Echo isn't that good, in my opinion. It's... I don't know. It's just kind of a mess. Yeah, I think that's a good way to start this. Well, I don't know if it's bad or horrible. It's not like... Well, I'm gonna put it in there now. It's not a very good show. It's very short, thank God. The only good thing that I really liked about it was Kingpin, of course. And Kingpin is one of my favorite villains in any Marvel product, so it was nice to see him, but that's about the only good thing about this show, so I would not recommend this. Percy Jackson and the Olympians is next one. This tells the story about Percy. He's this kid that discovers that all of the things in the Greek mythology, like all the gods and monsters and everything, that they're real, and he himself is a demigod. And then he goes on this quest with his friends, trying to find Zeus's lightning bolt in order to stop a war. Well, it sounds silly, and it's a bit silly, let's be real. But I really liked the source material, because as a kid I read this book, like the show is based on this book, and that one is actually really good, but the adaptation isn't like anything special. I feel like the book does everything better, but it's not bad. I would say it's like mid. It has some good things, but there's just some things that I really didn't like. Like, for example, some characters just instantly know everything that's going on, and there's really no mystery, and I don't know, the book just paces everything better in my opinion. Next up, Solo Leveling, another one that I just reviewed, of course. This one's good. Solo Leveling it's like, the premise is pretty simple. There are like these dungeons that have started to appear all over the world, and then the main character becomes like a hunter, and these hunters are like, well, people that go into these dungeons, and then they fight the monsters and get the loot and everything. It really feels like a video game, and the plot is simple, but there's some really nice action. And, you know, I had really good time with Solo Leveling. It's not too long, and yeah, I hope we get to see more of it soon. Definitely worthy of good tier in my opinion. I wouldn't go as far as putting it in great, but it's a good show. Next up, Invincible. Wow, this one is good. Invincible it's like about this guy who gets superpowers because his dad is like the strongest hero on Earth, and then the main character wants to be like his dad and, protect the Earth, but then he learns that things aren't that simple, and actually protecting Earth isn't an easy thing. I don't know, this is a very weird description of it, but I can't really talk about spoilers, so I think that's the best we can do. But Invincible is, the plot is really great, and there's some nice action in there. It's a bit lacking at times. There's some things I don't like about this. There's some characters that I don't really like, but I like the main cast. Pretty much all of them are pretty good. And especially Mark, the main character, and his father, Omni-Man, are definitely the two highlights of this show. Invincible, definitely worthy of great tier. Like, it has a lot of things that will get you hooked, and yeah, there's this, especially for the first season, there's this ongoing mystery that really hooks you, and you just want to watch more to see how it unveils. It's definitely worthy a watch, and definitely like not your average superhero show, so I would definitely recommend it. Okay, now that we have all of those out of the way, we can go a bit deeper, I think, with the upcoming shows. First of all is Alice in Borderland. This is a very slept-on show. Like, I don't hear that many people talking about this, but this is a manga to live-action adaptation, which may ring some alarm bells for some of you, but trust me, not every manga to live-action adaptation is bad. Alice in Borderland is one of the 2 manga to live-action adaptations that I think are great. And the other one is on this list, but we'll talk about it later. But so basically the plot is like, there's this group of friends, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of Tokyo, everybody disappears and they're left all alone in Tokyo, nobody's around, and then as time goes on, they start to find these games that are being held all around the city. And these games are not your typical games. They're games that have high stakes. Basically, they're playing for their life, and they have to complete these games in order to extend their visa. And if their visa runs out, they'll get killed. And there's a very good mystery about this, because you don't know anything about the world. You don't know anything about what's going on. You so slowly start to figure out what the whole thing is. And I think it's just a really nice mystery. And there's some really good characters there as well that I really liked. And it's an all-around a very entertaining show. I would even put it like here, like even above Invincible. Like, this is a show that you need to watch. It's absolutely not perfect, but it's really fun. Like, it's a good show. Next up is the Book of Boba Fett. I don't remember a whole lot about this. This is a very short show. It's set in the Star Wars universe, of course, and it's about Boba Fett, obviously. A very iconic character, but they do him kinda dirty in this show, I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the plot that well. Like, he's just there doing shit, and then things happen. And the best thing about the show are the scenes where Boba Fett isn't even in. Especially halfway through the show, another character arrives and steals the show. And there's a few good episodes in there, but the main character isn't even present. And I just feel like this show really, really did him dirty. Like, Boba Fett is such an iconic character, and it was really a shame to see him reduced to this empty, non-interesting character. It was a shame, so yeah, I think it's definitely going in horrible. Hawkeye. So Hawkeye is, again, a Marvel show. Yeah, I've seen a lot of them. But Hawkeye is, in my opinion, it's underrated. I actually think this is one of the better MCU shows. And it's very short, like most of these shows, but Hawkeye is, of course, about Hawkeye after the events of Avengers Endgame, and it has this tag team duo of Hawkeye and I think her name was Kate. I don't remember that all too well. It's been quite a while since I've seen this, but I think the dynamic between those two was pretty fun to see, and overall it's just a fun show. It's not that, like, it's not special in my opinion, but I had fun with it. I don't know if I would hate it more if I rewatched it, but like, from what I remember, it's not that bad. So I'm gonna put it in good tier. I don't know, that placement may change, but I actually had fun with this. So yeah, that's where it goes. The Cuphead Show. Oh boy. Well, this is of course an adaptation of the video game Cuphead. This is a very like goofy show. This is a children's cartoon, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it really feels like something you'd watch from Saturday morning TV when you were 7 years old. So, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It really fits the theme of Cuphead, so I can't really complain. But I won't lie, it's not that memorable. Like, I don't remember anything that happens in the show. It's just goofiness and, you know, them doing random shit. I don't remember any scenes of the show. And it's not even been that long since I've seen it. But yeah, if you want to have good time, sure. But you will not remember most of this. Like, I'm gonna put it in there. It's not bad. But it's like, I don't remember anything about this. Like, that's the... I can't really praise a show that I don't remember too well. And that's not because it's been too long since I've seen it. It's been only like a few years. Chainsaw Man. Okay, Chainsaw Man is too short, and I wish there was more of it. And yes, I know the movie is coming. Season 2 is probably coming at some point. But Chainsaw Man is fun. It is fun. And I've read the manga too. It gets even better. And yeah, I think the show only has one season, so it kind of just covers the beginning, of course. So it's kind of a nice slate that it can start building on top of, and I know it will because of the manga. Chainsaw Man is about this guy that makes a contract with a devil chainsaw dog, and then he becomes the Chainsaw Man, and then he joins this group of people that hunts devils. That's the plot. It's pretty simple, but it has a special kind of charm. I don't know how to describe it, but the main character has very interesting goals, and it's not your average I want to save the world goals. It's something else, and I will let you discover that yourself. But Chainsaw Man is just... it has really nice charm. I don't think the plot is like masterpiece. Even the manga, it's not really a masterpiece. It just has a really nice charm to it. And I think Chainsaw Man currently goes into the good tier above Solo Leveling. But I think that it can get to the great tier later when they adapt some of the like actually really good things from the manga. Attack on Titan. This is our first masterpiece. I think Attack on Titan is a must-watch. I don't care if you like anime or not, it doesn't matter. Attack on Titan is a must-watch. Attack on Titan, of course, the story is about these people that live inside these big walls because the outside world is ruled, or well, not ruled, but like infested with titans, these giant humanoid creatures that eat people. And then the humans try to figure out ways to deal with these titans. And I can't really say any spoilers, so I don't know if that description sounded that interesting, but trust me, there's so much more here. Like, it goes very deep. And there's a really nice mystery, and a lot of mysteries, in fact. There are some incredible plot twists that you will not see coming, and it just keeps on giving. It starts out very simple, but as it progresses, it gets more and more complicated, but not in a bad way, in a way that you understand mostly what's going on. And it's so freaking cool to see it all like open up and where it eventually concludes. It is masterful. It is masterful in its storytelling. And animation too. The animation is also really good. Like, Attack on Titan is absolutely something that you need to watch. I don't care if you like anime, if you don't like anime, doesn't matter. You will go watch Attack on Titan right now, after this video, if you haven't seen it already. Or maybe, fuck it, even if you have seen it, go rewatch it or something. But it is great, and absolutely deserving of the masterpiece tier. Well, it's funny because we're jumping from masterpiece to one of probably the worst show on this tier list, like She-Hulk. I don't know how to describe this. It's a Marvel show again, an MCU show. I regret watching this. It's not good. It is bad. It's about a woman who's kind of gains like Hulk powers, and then she's also an attorney, and also she can break the fourth wall. And I don't know, it just kind of feels like a discount Daredevil Deadpool combination. I don't know. The whole thing is a mess. It's like a comedy, but it's not funny really, and it's just a mess. I don't really want to talk about it more. Do not watch this. There's no reason to watch this. Okay. Loki, from one MCU show to another, but this one is actually good. Loki is way better than She-Hulk. Loki, of course, it's about Loki, the god of mischief. You know who he is probably. So after the events of Endgame, he kind of gets in trouble with the TVA. It's this kind of time. I don't remember what it's called, but like it's like an organization that deals with time and tries to like stop these non-canon events or something like that happening. So they try to keep this sacred timeline like unharmed, and then of course Loki gets into a lot of trouble with that, and I think Loki is pretty nice. It's not a masterpiece, but I honestly really enjoyed it. I like Loki as a character, and his actor is so good too. Like, there's a lot of nice characters in here, and the chemistry between Loki and Mobius is absolutely incredible. But I don't know if it's great good, but I don't know if I'm gonna put it in here for now. Like, it's not better than Solo Leveling. It's going in there for now, but I may raise it at some point. Like, I just had fun with it. Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is a show that is heavily carried by its animation, and goddamn, the animation is beautiful. The action in Jujutsu Kaisen is probably the best action I've ever seen in anything. It's really, really good. I think the story is also fine, but it takes a while to kind of get going. For example, in the first season, I just didn't really get invested in it a whole lot. But in the second season, it gets way better. And I think Jujutsu Kaisen is, if you just want great action, like really, really good action, Jujutsu Kaisen definitely delivers. I think, where do I put it? Oh, not there. It's not amazing. It's in a great tier. Where do I put it? Maybe here. So, I forgot to tell what this is about. So, Jujutsu Kaisen is about these Jujutsu sorcerers that go around killing curses. Yeah, that's about it. And the main character, it's a finger of a very powerful curse guy, and then he kind of gets half possessed by that cursed guy, and then it's kind of complicated, I'll be honest, but if you want to watch it, do it. But definitely great action and some really nice characters as well. I can't wait to see how it continues. It left on a pretty nice cliffhanger, but I'm not gonna go and read the manga because this is heavily carried by its animation, and I want to experience that animation with the following seasons. So yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen is great. So when I was talking about Alice in Borderland, I mentioned that it was one of the two great manga to live action adaptations, and the other one is One Piece. Now the One Piece live action was my introduction to One Piece, and we will be talking about One Piece later. Don't worry, we will talk about it later. But now let's focus on the live action. So what the live action does really well is it's very faithful. The actors are really good, and the world just feels like the One Piece world. The set designs are amazing. Like seriously, they made most of these sets like with practical effects and stuff. It's really good looking. The CGI is mostly pretty good as well, but like the practical stuff really shines. This is just the prologue of One Piece basically for now, so it doesn't really get to expand a whole lot, but for what it does, it introduces us to the world of One Piece really well. And if you haven't seen One Piece, any kind of One Piece media, I think the live action is actually a good place to start, because I know many people are scared of the high episode count of the anime, so live action is a really nice way to get into it, and I would heavily recommend it. And once again, I forgot to tell what this is about. Well, it's about a kid who wants to become a pirate. He wants to become the king of the pirates by finding the One Piece, which is like a treasure that's been hidden by the previous king of the pirates. And then he sets sail and forms a crew, and then things kind of get wacky. And once again, I can't really go into spoilers, but that's the premise, and it's really good. I think the One Piece live action definitely worthy of great tier. Like, I really like it. This is how you do a live action adaptation. These two, actually, both of them. So yeah, if you are even remotely interested in One Piece, the live action is a really good way to start. Peacemaker. Oh, Peacemaker is great. This is a DC show, so it's not Marvel, it's DC this time, but it doesn't really feel like a superhero show at all. It's tied to the Suicide Squad movie. I haven't even seen that, so I can't really speak how it ties to that like that well, but you don't have to see that movie, you can understand the show without the movie. So Peacemaker is about this guy who gets out of jail, and he just wants to, I don't know, he just kind of wants to be a superhero, but I don't even know how to describe this. And then he kind of gets into a group that tries to stop an alien invasion. It's wacky, but it's really fun. Peacemaker is fun. It's goofy, it's comedic in all the right ways, and it is actually such a nice show and definitely worth a watch. I'm gonna put it in here. I think that's a good place. Peacemaker is actually hilarious. It is. I can't describe it that well, but trust me, you need to watch it. It is actually really fun. And don't be like put off by the fact that it's a superhero show. Technically, it really doesn't feel like one. So yeah. Sweet Home. This is. I've only seen the first season of this. I didn't finish the second season. I thought the second season was kind of boring. And now this third season is even coming out soon. And I don't know if I'm ever going to catch up with it, but I'm going to talk about the first season because that's the one I've seen. So Sweet Home it's like, basically the main character is kind of depressed, doesn't see like any value in life, but then this kind of apocalypse happens, like not a zombie apocalypse, but like these monsters that kind of remind you of zombies. And yeah, he and the main character and some other characters get trapped in this building, and they need to figure out ways to survive from these monsters, and then the main character kind of gets a reason to live, I guess, but there's a lot of more complicated stuff too. But I don't know, like Sweet Homes, I remember the pacing was really weird. Like it's been a while since I've seen the first season, but the pacing was really weird from what I remember, and it takes a long time to really pick up. By the end, it's pretty fun, but like I don't know. And also the CGI it's ass. It's horrible. The CGI is like actual trash, and sometimes I was just laughing at how bad the CGI was. But yeah, it's like mid, I think. Like there's some good things here, but it doesn't really hold up too well. Like I feel like there are some good ideas, but the execution is lacking. I don't know about the second season, like I said, I haven't finished it. Maybe it gets better there, but yeah, what do I know? One Punch Man, this is another show that I've only seen the first season of. I still need to watch the second season, and I will do that. I heard it's apparently worse than the first season, but I'm still gonna give it a shot. But here we're only gonna talk about the first season. So One Punch Man is kind of comedy thing again. It's like superhero stuff, but it once again like twists that kind of formula because the main character can defeat everything in one punch, and that's of course where the name comes from. And he's just actively looking for an opponent that can match his strength. And yeah, that's where the comedy comes from, because no matter how terrifying, no matter how powerful the enemy is, the main character just gets there and beats his ass in one punch. And I don't know, the premise kind of sounds like it would get old quickly, but it doesn't. It works really well. And yeah, I think I need to see more of it before I can really say anything. I don't think it's better than Chainsaw Man at the moment. I think it's a bit overrated too. Like, it's not a masterpiece like many people say, at least for now. But it's still a very fun time. So if you just want a good comedy, it's really the way to go. Oh god. Okay. The Resident Evil Netflix adaptation. Jesus Christ. This is, oh my god, this show is fucking ass. Like I watched this, I was coping so hard. Like I was just watching it and hoping that at some point it gets good, because I love Resident Evil. I was just hoping that at some point there's some value in this show. Spoiler alert, there's no value in this show. This is the worst fucking adaptation I've probably ever seen. Outside of the Attack on Titan live action, maybe. Actually, even that may be better than this. Resident Evil Netflix show is, well, it's nothing like Resident Evil actually. Basically, the show is like about this woman who's like living through like a zombie apocalypse, and she's trying to find a way to like find a cure or something like that. But then it kind of keeps jumping back and forth from the present time to the past, and in the past she's a child, and then through that we are supposed to like find out how the zombie apocalypse happened and something like that. It's a mess. Like, it is truly a mess. I think that like time jumping is actually a nice idea on paper, but it doesn't work. And yeah, the only thing that even connects this show to Resident Evil is the name and the fact that there are zombies. And some character name drops. But it's so fucking bad. It's I don't know, if you liked Resident Evil, you should absolutely not watch this, because this is just a disgrace of the source material. So yeah, I would definitely not recommend this. This shit is ass. Don't watch this. Don't waste your time. Thank you. So next up is All of Us Are Dead. Okay, we're having a streak of zombie-related shows. So All of Us Are Dead is, well, another zombie show, and it's about these people that get stuck in a school when a zombie apocalypse begins, and then they have to survive and get out and all that. It's pretty good. Like, it's way better than Sweet Home and Resident Evil, but I feel like this one also suffers from the pacing. It's all over the place. Half the time you have no fucking idea what's going on, because there's like a trillion characters that need to all be introduced, and it gets better towards the end when most of them die, but it's just, I don't know. It's good. I'd say it's good. Maybe like here. It's definitely fun. If you just want some like zombie survival, it does that thing pretty well. The story is alright, I guess. But yeah, I think it's worth a watch if you like the genre. Okay, enough with the zombie shows for now. Blue Eye Samurai. This show had some nice animation. It actually has really nice like artistic look. And people really say that this show is a masterpiece. I do not agree with that. This is not a masterpiece, but it's still good. The story is actually pretty good, and I enjoyed it. It's basically about this samurai who has like everything going against her. First of all, she's a woman. Second of all, her eyes are blue, which means that, you know, one of her parents, in this case her dad, is not Japanese. They were really strict and proud of being Japanese, so having someone that's like mixed race is an issue in that time period. And I think that the show deals with that really well. And, you know, with the art style and animation, it's great. I had fun with it. But I don't know if it's a masterpiece. I think it's definitely good or great. I'm gonna put it here, like below Chainsaw Man, but yeah. It's fun, but it's not a masterpiece in my opinion. I think there's still a lot, like, issues with it. But, like, yeah, if you want something, like, from this time period that looks good too, I think this is a pretty safe pick. Okay, One Piece. Now, okay, let me ask you a question. What do you know about One Piece? Do you know that it's very long? You probably knew that, right? But do you know anything else about One Piece? If you do, congratulations, you're in the minority, because most people really don't seem to know anything about One Piece other than it's very long. And then they don't want to watch it because it's that long. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that should not be a reason to not watch this show. The episode count does not matter. You are not being forced to speedrun it. You can take your own time. You can take breaks whenever the fuck you want. You don't have to speedrun through the entirety of these 1000 episodes. And trust me when I say this, you need to watch One Piece. Like, start with the live action or start with the upcoming anime remake whenever that comes out. But start it, like, go through it. It is great. It is so, like, I don't know how to describe it. The world is living. It feels like it's alive. Every character has their own lives. That's how it feels like. Even when they're not on the screen, they are living their own lives. They're doing stuff. And there's a lot of characters and a lot of things happening at the same time. And you know, the world building is so beautifully done. It's really a breathing world that you're just tuning into. The main character, of course this has the same plot as the live action. Main character wants to become a pirate king, wants to find the One Piece, gathers a crew, and, you know, goes on adventures. And I don't even know how they do it, because pretty much anything, like, if something goes on for too long, at some point it becomes bad. But One Piece has gone for over 1100 episodes, and it's still good, apparently. I haven't watched it all yet. I'm currently about 600 episodes in, which is a lot, but, like, that's still, like, barely halfway through. So, and I've heard from people that it's still good in the latest episodes. So, like, I don't know how they do it, but it just works. Like, this show can continue forever. It will still remain good. Of course, there are some dips in quality at some points, but, like, it always picks up again. And, you know, these drops aren't that huge. You can still enjoy them. I don't know how they do it, but One Piece is absolutely must watch. It may be scary to get into it, but trust me, you will not regret it. One Piece is my favorite anime and one of my favorite shows of all time. It is, I can't do it justice by just talking about it like this, which is why I'm probably going to make a fully dedicated video to One Piece. It's actually in the works, so I hope I can finish that sometime soon. But I don't know how to kind of convey how special this show is. And I heavily, wholeheartedly recommend you to check it out. Okay, next up is Fallout. So Fallout is a show that I just recently finished, and I was going to make a video about it, like a full review, but then I just didn't. I was lazy. But Fallout is great. This is a very good video game adaptation. I was not expecting it to be this good, but damn, it's actually really good. Actually, it's even worthy of great tier. And not better than One Piece. But Fallout, of course, it's based on the video game series with the same name, and so TLDR, nuclear war happens, and then everybody, like the survivors, they go live in these bunkers or like vaults underground, and then the world is flattened, and then eventually, as time passes, people start to return to the surface, and then it's a very different place than what it was before the bombs dropped. The show follows a character who goes to look for her dad, and yeah, that's the plot. But it gets pretty good. There's a lot of great characters, and this is an actually great and faithful adaptation. And yeah, Fallout is fun. Like, go watch it. WandaVision, okay, we're back to Marvel shows. WandaVision is one of the better ones in my opinion. It's very interesting. It's actually really unique. It's like, how do I even describe this? So WandaVision is something that you probably haven't seen before. It has a nice mystery, and yeah, it has a nice mystery, and it kind of drops towards the end, but the mystery in the beginning is actually really engaging. And basically the premise is that, Wanda, aka Scarlet Witch, is like... actually, I don't want to spoil it, but they're like... Wanda and Vision are like in this world that's very different from the world that we know them from the earlier Marvel projects. So what's going on, and what the place is, and I don't know how to describe this. This is so weird, but like, it's a really nice mystery. It's definitely worth a good tier. Maybe like, I'd put it here. It's fun time, and one of the better MCU shows in my opinion. Andor. Okay, Andor is very, very different from other Disney Plus shows. Of course, this is set in the Star Wars universe, but damn, Andor doesn't feel like any other Disney Plus show, like any other MCU or Star Wars show. Andor is actually, it is thought out, it is mature, and it is compelling. The writing in Andor is amazing, and when I first saw this, I was like actually stunned, because it actually feels like a show made for adults, which it is. It's not just like flashy fights and action. It's actually a nice, great plot. So the plot is that it's basically a prequel to the Rogue One movie. So of course the main character Andor is like living in the parts of the world that are like under the rule of the Empire, of course, and we get to see that like daily life of these people in these parts of the world where things are really bad. But this really does show us how like people live, like normal people live in this world, and it does it so well. And the Empire actually feels super threatening and super bad in here, and it's done really well. And actually, Andor is, even if you don't like Star Wars, I think Andor is absolutely something you should watch. It's worthy of amazing. Like, honestly, our first amazing tier. I don't know how they pulled it off. I hope the second season is just as good. But Andor it was such a nice surprise that I hope you don't miss, because it's a Star Wars Disney Plus show. I already talked about one video game adaptation in here, of course, that being Fallout. But now we're gonna talk about another one, Arcane, which is... damn. Arcane is quite possibly the best video game adaptation I've seen. Arcane is incredible in its animation. it is incredible in its storytelling and characters. Everything just fits so nicely together, and the plot is really, really interesting. And so basically, it's based on League of Legends, which at first I was like, there's no way I'm gonna like this because I don't like League of Legends really. So I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm probably not gonna like it, but goddamn, I loved Arcane. This is, even if you don't like League of Legends, I don't like League of Legends like I said, but Arcane is something you have to watch. It is incredible. Like the characters, mainly the two main characters, are really, really good. So basically the plot is that the main character and her sister, they like get into some kind of trouble. I don't want to spoil it. And then they get separated, and then the other sister like starts to work for the quote unquote bad guys. And you know, there's a lot of like psychology involved, and how they portray this character that kind of goes half crazy. It's wild. It's really wild. And man, it's just really, it has some really good writing and also really good animation. That's what we need. And yeah, Arcane, absolutely must watch. I'm gonna put it in amazing. It is, damn, I'm really excited for the second season. Please go watch it. Like, please do. You will not regret it. Man, we're just having bangers back to back. Vinland Saga is fucking amazing. So basically, Vinland Saga it's a story about Vikings, and basically it has a lot of like historical accuracy, which is really nice to see as someone who really enjoys history. Damn. But Vinland Saga's storytelling is, it's just so good. So basically, the story is about this kid who loses his father, and then he starts to work for the one who killed his father in order to gain enough, like, in order to gain skill to kill the one that killed his father in honor. He wants a revenge, but he wants to do it honorably. And then the relationship between these two characters gets really detailed, really fleshed out. And that's basically just a prologue, but I'm describing the first season. It gets way deeper in season 2. Basically starts to deal with, like, actually starts to make you think what war is and what violence is and what are the consequences of the things you do. And I don't want to spoil it, but trust me, it gets really good. Like, this is probably some of the best writing I've ever seen. I really can't wait for this to continue. Vinland Saga is absolutely a must-watch. I would even put it in masterpiece. Like, honestly, I don't know, well, I may lower it at some point, but Vinland Saga is one of my favorite anime, and it is just one of my favorite shows in general. Like, this is something that will make you think. It's great. Please watch it. The Defenders. This is, well, I don't know how to talk about this because this is kind of a sideshow to Daredevil and Jessica Jones 2 that we have here. So basically, The Defenders is set after like season 2 of Daredevil, I think. And now, yes, this is a Marvel show, but it's not an MCU show. This is actually, these were made like on the side of the MCU. So I don't know if they're like considered canon, but they don't feel like it. They don't feel like MCU. So just bear that in mind. These are actually thoughtful adult shows. That sounds weird, but you get what I mean. So The Defenders is kind of a team-up show between the characters that show up in the other shows. It's basically their Avengers, and it's fine. Like, whenever Daredevil is on the screen, whenever Jessica Jones is on the screen, whenever these two do something, it's good. But then again, you have the other characters kind of dragging it down, in my opinion, and the plot is just, I don't know, the plot doesn't really reach the heights of, for example, Daredevil, the show. So, I don't know. The Defenders, I think it's still, like, good. Maybe like this good, maybe. But it leaves a lot to be desired, especially when you've watched Daredevil beforehand. So next up is Gen V. This is the sideshow for The Boys, and I haven't talked about The Boys yet, so I don't know how we're gonna talk about Gen V, but basically Gen V is set in a world where many people have superpowers, and then these people with superpowers, these kids, well not kids, young adults, they go to this university that's only meant for people with superpowers, and then they start to learn things about being a hero, but there is a deeper mystery, something that they start to discover slowly. And in typical The Boys fashion, it's very gory, it's hilarious, it is a parody of many things. So if you like The Boys, you should definitely watch Gen V. It's not as good as The Boys, obviously, but if you just want more from this world, I think Gen V is worth a watch. I don't even mind putting it in rate tier. Like, I actually had fun with this. Like I said, not as good as The Boys, but still a pretty fun show. Miss Marvel. This is not a very fun show. This is actually one of the worst ones in the MCU, in my opinion. But people have very different opinions about the show. I feel like I maybe just wasn't target audience for this. There are some people that really like this, so I don't know, it's really about opinions, and of course the whole tier list is just my opinion, so yeah. Miss Marvel didn't really do it for me. It's about this girl who has, would you believe it, she gets this bracelet that gives her superpowers, and yeah, then she does things. That's the premise. I'm probably gonna put it in bad. Yeah, just to have something in that tier. Miss Marvel didn't really do it for me, but like I said, if you happen to be target audience, then maybe you will love it. I don't know. I wasn't too invested in it. But yeah. Well, here's another show that many of you probably haven't heard of. It's Copycat Killer. So this is a show that I just saw on Netflix and just watched it, and it's actually better than I expected. It's like kind of a mystery thriller kind of detective thing where the main character, who's a detective, wants to catch a killer. It's a very simple premise, but it gets pretty good. Like, the main character isn't stupid. He's actually really intelligent. So he's not stupid, and that's a relief. Yeah, it has some flaws, especially towards the end. There are some things that I don't really like about it, but once again, I can't really go too in detail because of spoilers, so yeah. But if you just want a nice detective show, I think Copycat Killer is definitely worth giving a shot. It's, like I said, there are probably better shows in this genre. I'm not too experienced with it, but like, it's still good. And well, there it goes. And we have another Star Wars show. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is a very mixed bag. Like, there are some things I really like about it, and then there are some things that I really don't like about it. Obi-Wan Kenobi is, in my opinion, a great character, and it was nice to see more of him. But not everything is that good. I feel like throughout the entire show he's just kinda absent. Like, not literally absent, but he feels kinda like he's not really in it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, basically the premise is that this is after episode 3 of Star Wars, and basically Obi-Wan has gone to Tatooine to kind of hide from the Empire after Order 66, and then he discovers that his old friend has become Darth Vader, and that's a nice thing it deals with. I wish it did that a bit more, like showing how he reacts to this information. I mean, the show shows that, yeah, but like, I wish it was explored a bit more, maybe. I just wish this did more. Like, I feel like this could have been a movie, and I believe this was intended to be a movie at some point, but there's just a lot left to be desired. I'm gonna place it in here now, but yeah, it's fun if you like the character, but then again, it's not that special. Damn, I'm really starting to lose my voice now. Maybe I'll have to finish this some other day. I don't know. We'll at least go now. One more for this recording session. Squid Game. I believe most of you have seen Squid Game. You know how popular it was when it released. I watched it then, and I liked it. I think Squid Game is damn good. And, well, just in case, I'm gonna tell the premise of the story. It's about this guy who has a gambling addiction kind of thing. He's kind of an all-around pathetic guy, and then he gets an opportunity to join a game where other people like him are competing for money, and they're competing in children's games. And of course, the punishment for failure is death, so they're putting their lives on the line. And Squid Game does everything it tries to do damn well. The characters are great, the games are great. The whole mystery of what the whole thing is like, it's a bit surreal, and at the same time it's really interesting. I believe most of you have seen it already. If you for some reason haven't, I highly encourage you to check it out. I think it's actually worthy of amazing, honestly. I'm having trouble deciding if it's this tier or this tier. Is it better than Alice in Borderland? Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Fuck. I'm gonna do this. Okay, I don't know if that's controversial. I don't care. I think Alice in Borderland is a tiny bit better. But yeah, I think Squid Game is still damn good. I think this is a good time to end this recording session. Of course, that doesn't mean anything to you because I'm just gonna cut it. So I'm gonna see you when my voice has recovered from this hour of talking. Okay, welcome back. It's now day 2 of recording, and let's just get right into it. No time wasted. The Mandalorian. Okay, the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian are actually really good. Like, actually really nice. Yeah. Season 3 is admittedly quite a drop in quality, but the first 2 are great. And definitely one of the best Disney Plus shows. I think it's hard to ignore the 3rd season, but if this was only about seasons 1 and 2, I would put it in great. But I don't think I can give it great after season 3. Which is why I'm gonna put it in good, somewhere in good tier, maybe like here. The Mandalorian, in case you don't know, is set in the Star Wars universe again. It's about a bounty hunter who is tasked with delivering a baby to something. I don't remember exactly what, but then there's like a, I don't know how to say it, but there's like, the bounty hunter starts to develop kind of a bond with the baby, so maybe he doesn't want to let go and give him to like whatever the fuck is trying to get it. Like, that is a very, very bad description, but I don't remember it too well. But yeah, Mandalorian is pretty good for the first 2 seasons. Moon Knight. This is again MCU. I just realized we have a lot of Marvel shows here. Moon Knight is pretty good. I enjoyed this one. I don't think that many people enjoy Moon Knight, honestly. Whenever I see people talking about it, it's mostly that people say it's mid or like bad. But I don't think it's quite bad. I think it has some great ideas. It's just very short again. And, you know, I don't know. But it has some really nice ideas. So basically it's about this guy who kind of has like a split personality. And, you know, his normal, quote-unquote, normal self is like a pretty average guy living a pretty average life. And then his other personality, or like, yeah, and his other personality is a knight for a god. And it's quite interesting to see how it kind of balances those two personalities and how things start to move. It's pretty interesting, but once again, it's pretty short, unfortunately. And I wish there was more of it, but no can do. I think it's still got good, but maybe like I think that's nice. That's a nice place for it. But yeah, has had some really cool ideas. I wish it just explored them more. Cyberpunk Edgerunners, another incredible video game adaptation. I think this and Arcane are probably the two best video game adaptations ever made. This is set in the Cyberpunk universe, so it's based on Cyberpunk 2077, and yeah, it's set in Night City, the same place the game is set in, and it follows a guy who joins a group of Edgerunners, basically people who just do jobs around the city, and they have all like cyberware and other stuff there. It's so cool. I love the Cyberpunk world. Like there's some really cool stuff in there, and it's very flashy, very action heavy, and it also has a really nice narrative. It's very short, but I think it does everything it needs to do in that time span. So it's not really a complaint, I think. And it also looks beautiful. I forgot to mention that. It looks absolutely beautiful. The animation is top tier. So yeah, I think it's definitely tied with Arcane, pretty much. I don't know if it's better than Arcane though. Like, I'm gonna put it here, but you can think of them as like tied, in my opinion. The Boys. Now, I already talked about Gen V a bit, but The Boys is the main deal, the real deal, and this show is really good. The Boys is basically it's set in a world where like I said with Gen V, it's in the same world. A lot of people have superpowers, and the people that have superpowers are not exactly your average superheroes. They're quite selfish and more like, yeah, they're selfish, they're evil, basically. Not all of them, but the main big bads in quotes, of course. Now, and then the plot follows like a group of people, like normal people, like, well, I don't know if you could say normal people, but like more normal people, and they have all been in one way or another been wronged by these heroes. These heroes have caused them some bad things to happen, so they team up and they try their best to take down these superheroes. And it's very satirical at times, but it's also really good in its narrative. Like, I don't know how I could say it, but it's like the story is amazing, and it's also really funny, and also like not funny at the same time, like serious at the same time. It's a weird mix, but it works damn well, and I'm really excited to see season 4. Probably gonna review it on this channel whenever it releases. So The Boys is, man, I think it's amazing. Yeah, I don't know if it's quite masterpiece. It's like I don't know if it's a masterpiece, but it's really good, and maybe season 4 takes it to a masterpiece tier. It's so close. It's so close. Actually, now that I think, I'm probably gonna drop Vinland Saga to amazing. Like here, I don't think it's better than The Boys, but still, yeah, amazing. Speaking of amazing, Breaking Bad is my favorite show of all time, and it's obvious that it's going to the masterpiece tier, number 1. Breaking Bad is, I think, well, nothing is perfect in life, but Breaking Bad, it gets pretty close. Now, I think this is a show that most people already know again, but just in case you don't know, Breaking Bad is about a chemistry teacher and a father who gets diagnosed with cancer, and his life is kind of boring. He doesn't feel any excitement in life, and then of course on top of that, the cancer diagnosis makes him realize that whenever he dies, he won't have like enough money to support his family, of course. So what he does is that he starts to cook crystal meth with his former student, and well, that escalates quite a bit. Breaking Bad is fucking beautiful. It is, in all aspects, a true masterpiece. Like, the acting is absolutely perfect. The story is super well crafted and intelligent, and like, you can't stop watching whenever you start. It is incredible. I don't know. Once again, I can't talk about spoilers, but man, it gets really good. Watch Breaking Bad if you haven't already. Most of you probably have, but if in case you haven't, go watch it. It is amazing. Black Knight. It's set in a world in the future where like oxygen is very limited and people live in like districts, and then some people, I don't remember what they're called, but there's like a group of people who like go around the city and bring oxygen to people, and then it's kind of like people trying to get out of that poor life that the people like the people that live in the outskirts are kind of living kind of poor life, and they want to get out of that. It's pretty simple concept, but it does some things well in my opinion. But this is also a really short show again. Like, I wish there was more of it. Unfortunately, there's currently no information about season 2, I don't think. If I'm wrong, correct me, please. But yeah, I just wish there was more of it. Like, there were some nice concepts, but it doesn't really... I wish it just covered them more and explored them more. But I think it's a fun show. Maybe worthy of good tier. Yeah, if you're interested, go check it out, I guess. Band of Brothers. Okay. So, this is pretty much the best war-related story you can possibly have. At least from what I've seen, Band of Brothers is perfect in that genre. It is beautifully crafted. So it's set in World War II. So it follows like a company of US soldiers. They come to Europe towards the end of World War II, and then they participate in battles against the German Nazis and all that stuff. It's set, of course, it's based on real events, which makes it all the more haunting when, you know, you actually see how the battlefields are and how people are treated in that time period. And if you know history, you already know what's probably gonna happen here. Of course, you don't know what's gonna happen to the characters, maybe, but Band of Brothers is perfectly crafted. It has amazing acting. It's just everything feels so real, and that is a very scary thing when talking about a war-related story. But man, it is definitely amazing. It is definitely amazing. I would highly recommend to check it out. Secret Invasion. Well, this is something I would not recommend to check out. It's another Marvel show, another MCU show. It's about like Nick Fury and the Skrull invasion, basically aliens that can disguise themselves as humans. I think the idea is good, but then again, it lacks so much in its execution. It's just not very interesting, if I'm being honest. I think it's bad. Yeah. The Last of Us. This, again, most of you probably know, but just in case. The Last of Us is based on the video game The Last of Us, and it actually recreates the story from the game. So it focuses on like people trying to survive an apocalypse. It's not like a zombie apocalypse. Well, it basically is, but it's like the zombies are like fungal creatures. The main character gets a task to escort a girl that's immune to the fungal to like halfway across the country so they could possibly make a cure out of her and save the world. But The Last of Us's focus is definitely in these two main characters, and their bond is extremely well made. I think the game does the story better, but that's also because the game has over 20 hours of content and the show is like 9 episodes. So, you know, it has to kinda take things faster. It's a pretty good adaptation, but if you have the chance, I would recommend to play the game. But it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. I think it's definitely good. Yeah. Actually, probably. Okay. It's great. But yeah, I would recommend to check it out. Well, play the game if you can. It's even better. High Rise. Oh my god. I remember this existed. This is trash. This is actual fucking trash. So I don't even remember the plot too well. This is a random Netflix watch, and I don't even know why I watched it, honestly. Basically, I think the plot was something like the main character finds herself in this world that it feels like the world kind of feels like a Mirror's Edge, kinda. But yeah, they live on the rooftops and then they fight people, and yeah, that's about it. There is pretty much nothing interesting about this show. Like, the characters really aren't interesting, the story is not interesting, the world gets kind of boring after a while. I do not recommend this, don't watch this, it's shit. Okay. Jessica Jones, this is another Marvel show, but no MCU this time. This is actually a good Marvel show that I've only seen the first season of. I don't know, I never watched the other seasons, but the first season is pretty good actually, like actually pretty great. Maybe, like, yeah, that's a good place. So Jessica Jones follows the story of, well, Jessica Jones. It's like a investigator kind of person, and then that deals with like her past trauma, and someone that caused her a lot of trauma makes a return, and the villain is amazing in the show. The villain is so cool and so intimidating, and yeah, I don't remember it too well. It's once again been quite a while since I've seen this one, but honestly, if you like the old Netflix Marvel shows, it's one of the better ones, for sure. Speaking of better ones, damn, Daredevil is the best one, easily. Daredevil is fucking great. So, Daredevil, once again set in the same world as Jessica Jones. It's about a blind lawyer. He does lawyer stuff in the day, but in the night he's Daredevil, and he punishes criminals. It's simple, but the character of Daredevil is all around super interesting. Like the balance between his two sides and how he treats criminals, his kind of morality. It's super well explored here, and the villains for the most part are great. When I was talking about Echo, I already talked about Kingpin. In Daredevil, he absolutely shines. Kingpin is such a cool villain, and man, and there are other cool villains as well. It's a really, really good show. Even amazing worthy. Like, honestly, I would probably put it there. I loved Daredevil. It is great. Even if you don't like superhero stuff, Daredevil doesn't really feel like your average superhero show. So please give it a shot. It's absolutely worth it. Okay, Neon Genesis Evangelion. How am I gonna describe this? This show starts out as a pretty average, normal, like a mecha shooter action thing. But by the end, it has turned to something completely different. Like, Evangelion is a true acid trip. That's the best way I can describe it. It is very confusing. It is very complex, very multi-layered. It explores themes such as existentialism. Yeah, that. And yeah, it's just all around. It's a really weird experience, but a very good one at that. I think it's slightly overrated, though. I don't think it's. I think Chainsaw Man is better. You're probably gonna kill me for this opinion. I don't care. But like, it's a very interesting watch for sure. And by the end, you're probably going to be very confused. And trust me, I would like to talk about it more, but if you want an experience like no other, then this show is for you. You will certainly not forget about it. That's for sure. But what you will forget about probably is Ahsoka. This is one of the more forgettable Star Wars shows in my opinion. Ahsoka is about Ahsoka. And yeah, that's pretty much all I remember about this show. Like, actually, I cannot remember what happens in the show. I just cannot remember. Man, I can't remember anything. I remember there was, like, a pretty cool character. I don't remember what his name was. He's on the screen right now. But yeah, he was cool. But that's about it. I did not enjoy this whole lot, honestly. Yeah, like, I don't remember anything about the show. I've forgotten everything related to Ahsoka. And it's not been that long since I saw it, so... yeah, not a very memorable experience. Death Note. This is a memorable experience. Death Note is intelligent. The characters are intelligent. They are not stupid. They are very clever. And that's the main thing of Death Note. Basically, the premise is that a character finds a notebook that allows him to write names of people to kill them, and then he kind of like starts to kill people that he thinks deserve death, like criminals and all that stuff, and he kind of becomes like a god, basically. Not literally, but that's what he believes. But then, like, a detective starts to find clues about who this person is, and it becomes this, like, cat and mouse game between these two, and that's executed really, really well in the start of the show. There is, sadly, a drop in quality at certain point in the show, and the second half of it is much worse than the first half. The first half is actually like, incredible. But the second half is very lacking, in my opinion. I do like where it eventually ends, but it's just the second half as a whole is kind of messy, and I really don't like it that much. But the first half is amazing, so I think it's worthy of great tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put it there. Now, this is a show that I've never heard anyone talk about this show other than my friend who recommended this to me. The Uncanny Counter. Like, seriously, do people know that this exists? If there's even a single person watching this video here, comment down below if you've ever heard of this. Like, but it's great. It's actually really great. So I would recommend you to check it out. It's like half comedy thing. It's about these people who run a noodle shop, but then they are also connected to the afterlife in a way that they can gain abilities to fight like spirits or something like that, I think it was. But it's really well made. This show, I think, still has the best balance between comedy and serious stuff. I think the way it handles that is so good. And the characters are actually really fun to watch too. I don't know where I would place it. I'm gonna put it in good. I don't think it's quite great, but it's for sure, it is fun, and a lot of fun at that, so go watch it. It's actually just some good time. Better Call Saul. Okay, so, usually when a spin-off show is made of something great, it usually doesn't feel as good as the first original product. Like, a spin-off almost always has this kind of... it's overshadowed, usually, by the one that came before it. But that's not the case with Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul is almost as good as Breaking Bad. I think they're almost tied. I slightly prefer Breaking Bad, but I know that many people prefer Better Call Saul, and that's completely valid. These two shows are amazing. They are my two favorite shows, and they are connected too, so I don't know how they pulled it off. They made the best show, in my opinion, and then they proceeded to make the second best show ever made, in my opinion. It's incredible how they did that. So Better Call Saul, once again, you probably know what this is, but it's about a lawyer from the Breaking Bad show, of course, Saul himself, and it follows his journey, like how he became the Saul Goodman we all know and love. And it's so... the world... I'm gonna throw this word a lot in this video, but it's intelligent. It's complex, and it's all around just super well made. And it's a very slow show, I recognize that, you know, there's gonna be a lot of people who are not gonna like it because it's so slow, but trust me, it's worth it. It is worth it. I love that slow build-up when it gives a satisfying conclusion, which Better Call Saul absolutely does. So don't sleep on it, even if you have done that in the past or something. Go watch it if you haven't already. Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, they form this perfect duo. A perfect combination. A perfect story. Well, not perfect, nothing is perfect, but you know, it's close to that. And it's absolutely deserving of the masterpiece tier. Next up is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Well, we're back to MCU again. I don't know, this show is... I don't remember anything about this, honestly. Like, it's about Falcon and the Winter Soldier after the events of Endgame. That's all I remember from it. And then there's the fake Captain America. Yeah, that's true. I can't remember. I just... if I can't remember a show, it's just... I don't think it's worthy of anything more than mid at best. I don't think it's quite as bad. I don't remember it being quite as bad as some people said it was. But like, the thing I can't remember. I can't remember anything of it, so... yeah, that's a nice indicator of the quality, I think. That same applies to What If. But What If actually has a nice idea. It's just that it doesn't really do a whole lot of interesting stuff with it. Once again, with this, I've only seen the first season. I have no interest to see season 2. Idea is great, but there's absolutely no stakes. There's absolutely no, like... there's nothing. It's just fun, I guess, yeah, but... there's no stakes, like I said. You know, the multiverse is kind of a thing where stakes kind of don't exist. I mean, they do if you do it well, but with What If, it's meant to be like a compilation of funny what-if scenarios, like, well, what the name implies. But yeah, it's mid. It's mid. Yeah. That is, yeah, true. Right. I think this is our last show of the day. It's Kakegurui. I don't know if I even said that right. Kakegurui. Basically, this show is about, like, people in a school where everything works around gambling games, and yeah, they gamble a lot. And, you know, actually I think some of the gambling games themselves are pretty cool. Like, the characters, once again, aren't stupid most of the time. So, you know, you have some nice moments in there. But everything else they try to build... nope. The world building does not work. They try to build, like, absolutely insane things in the school hierarchy and how things work. It just... yeah, it gets super silly, and not in a good way. Yeah, it's mid. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think that's about the entire list. Once again, I haven't seen all of the shows that have ever been made, so I apologize. But this is my list, and yeah, if I have shit taste, I'm sorry. And yeah, I think that's a good place to end it. If you liked the video, please comment down below, subscribe if you want to. And yeah, that's about it. see you guys in the next video whenever that comes out. But yeah, see ya.